the budget immediately, and because of the tariff income, which is really, it's already turned out to be amazing, actually. It's really meant more for bringing countries and companies into our country, but it's, the numbers are rather staggering because we're the big piggy bank that everybody wants to be, and they can play games and they can say, well, there'll be retribution and, equal this and that, but they can't be equal. But we want to keep it so that we're the big piggy bank. And if we had years like we did the last 4 years, that wouldn't have lasted too long. So we're not promising it, but, all of these things could happen. We hope to balance our budget. So I don't want to promise it, because if I do and we come about $10 short, the fake news media back there would say, we have breaking news. He did not make it. He did not make it. But we'll get it done very soon. It might not be this year, but it could be this year. Actually, we have a chance at getting it even this year, which people would be shocked at because they were talking about 10 years, 15 years, 20 years from now. When I took office last month, we inherited the consequences of inflation that was more than 4 times what it was when I left 4 years ago. Think of that. I left, it was at 1.4%. And the annual government spending over $1.5 trillion more than projected in 2020 alone, 1.5 trillion. But under the Trump administration, all of that is changing faster and more dramatically than anyone ever thought possible. They didn't think it was possible to do what we've done in just a very short period of time. We've accomplished more in 4 weeks than most administrations accomplish in 4 years. On my first day in office, I imposed an immediate federal hiring freeze, a federal regulation freeze, and a foreign aid freeze. I signed an order creating the Department of Government Efficiency and put a man named Elon Musk in charge. Thank you, Elon, for doing it. Thank you very much. And he's doing a great job. I wish you could have seen him last night. It's really, he's a very committed person. He's a very serious person. And he's a very high IQ people. I like high IQ people. Not all have to be, but, it'd be nice to have some people up there that he's a seriously high IQ individual. Now, he's got his faults also, I will tell you that. But not too many of them, which is now really waging war on government waste, fraud, and abuse. And they're curbing inflation and saving taxpayers billions and billions of dollars every single day. And there's even under consideration a new concept where we give 20% of the Doge savings to American citizens and 20% goes to paying down debt, because the numbers are incredible, Elon. So many billions of dollars, billions, hundreds of billions, and we're thinking about giving 20% back to the American citizens and 20% down to pay back debt and pay down debt, which is, if you look at value, if it were a real estate balance sheet, the debt is tiny, but we still want to pay it down. Doesn't matter.
Hey there, Patriots. This is True Outlaw Patriot coming at you with another one. The video clip that I just showed you was a small piece of a speech that Trump was giving at the, what is it, the FII Institute, I believe that's how they say it, or F2 Institute, to basically what they consider, from what I gathered, like people that gather that are like future investors, okay, people that are going to be part of like big investments and stuff like that. And he was explaining just a few things about how things are going and things that he wants to do in order to help out America, the Americans, to better the economy, and also to give money back to American taxpayers. Now, I know that this is something that's been floating around. I didn't want to touch on this the past couple of days until basically I heard it from the horse's mouth, and here Trump is over here talking about it, so I feel it's only fit to put it out, on top of the fact that now all of a sudden, as usual, the Democrats have a problem with it. They're seething over it, and they're coming up with the fear tactics and propaganda all over again, saying that this is not good, that it's going to mess up the economy, it's going to mess everybody up. They're against it. They're going to sit back and wait. they're going to basically fight against it, that it's not feasible. You know, all the Democrat talking points of we can't help out the Americans because it's not in the budget, but trust us, we'll do everything we can with your money. Don't you worry about it. That's basically what it boils down to once again. So, there is a congresswoman out of Texas, Jasmine Crockett, who went on TV, okay, and she basically put her 2 cents into this situation. I don't even know, in all honesty, if we can call it 2 cents, because everything she says is very contradictory, number one, and she just basically says the quiet part out loud of how the Democrats really don't have the best intention of the people. They really don't want to help the people, and this includes their own. And I say that because when Trump is talking about giving money back from the money that they collect and the money that they save, being that they're doing all this investigation through Doge, he sees it only fit to give money back. Now, before I continue and go on, just a little backstory on this. The way this whole thing came about was there was somebody on X that follows Elon Musk, I believe. I did see the message on X myself, and he came out and made a comment about maybe with all the money that they're saving and they're getting back, okay, through the investigations, and the money that they're stopping from going out to all these leftist programs all around the world, he made a suggestion that maybe some of that money should go back to the American taxpayer. So Elon Musk replied, okay, saying that he was going to bring it up to the president. This was about a day or two ago, something to that effect. And here we are today. Today's Thursday. I'm putting out this video not tonight, tomorrow or the next day after I edit it. But just to give you guys a little context on timeline. So obviously Elon Musk went and spoke to Trump, and they both, put their, their brains together and figured out, you know what, if the government has been taking American taxpayer money and doing whatever the hell they want to do with it, why can't we give that money back to the people since they all suffered these past 4 years? And in my opinion, I think that's the right way to do it. Okay? I mean, it's only fair, and I say it for a couple of reasons. I'm going to give my personal reasons why. First of all, last year when I filed, last year I didn't get nothing back in taxes. Okay? The year before that, which would have been my 2022 to 2023 tax return, I was told by the tax preparer, after they did all the work and everything, after I claimed me working and I had my side business, I came with all the receipts, everything I could that I could come with to claim, with all the money I invested, I still got zero. I was told, we're not even going to file this because you're not going to get back anything. This was under Biden's economy. After me breaking my hump and paying bills and keeping up with the high taxes, every time something went up, trying to pull more money out just to pay more for, and I'll bring it up, eggs and milk and food, meat, gas prices, car repairs, rent, whatever the case is, I had to dish out the extra, just like tens of millions of other Americans. Okay? Meanwhile, when Trump was president, I got a pretty decent tax return back. Biden steps in. Okay, the first year in 2021, I got a tax return, but that was because of the way it carried over from 2020. 2022, 23, 24, nothing. Why? Because of Biden's economy. That's why. So that's my personal thing, and I'll throw a little more into it as we go, but that's just one story, me. That doesn't include, again, the tens of millions of Americans, okay, that got shafted under Biden's economy, having to basically keep up, like they say, keep up with the Joneses, trying to pull from wherever they can to make extra cash. On top of all that, whether you was driving Uber or selling stuff at a flea market, whatever the case was, every single damn time the Biden administration and the IRS decided to say, you know what? We're going to tax you even more, even when you're selling stuff at a flea market. Because that's all they believe in, is just taxing, taxing, taxing. So now here we are, and Trump believes, and Elon, that, you know what? They took all that money and they were investing it in USAID and other entities here in the States and around the world, and none of it was helping out the American populace. It just wasn't. And even you lefties out there, if you watch this video, you know for a fact you was hurting just as bad as anybody else. But you don't care because it was going to programs that you like your DEI programs, like your transgender programs. Anything that has to do to hate America, that's what you're okay with. You don't care who suffers, and you don't even care that they keep you under thumb and take all your money. Because you all act like a bunch of damn self-loathing slaves. Okay? And it's sickening, but you know what? That's on you. But the way Trump wants to do it now is say, you know what? No more funding across the globe. We're going to take care of Americans first. And yes, that does include you too, you people on the left, because if you're working, you pay taxes, you would think that you'd be happy if Trump came on and said, you're going to get some money too. Because what should have been happening, whether it's in a red state or a blue state, and more so blue states, like let's just pick one, let's say Detroit, where maybe, I don't know, maybe an extra $10-15 billion, or even the $20 million that USAID sent to Iraq to put on a Sesame Street show, maybe that $20 million could have went to Detroit and maybe fixed up and cleaned up a couple of neighborhoods, build up a couple of schools, maybe a few more after-school programs to bring up the kids, like, you know, to help them with their curriculum and bring up their math scores, their reading scores, you know, stuff like that. Stuff that's important. But no, that's not good enough for you people on the left. So now when Trump comes on and says, you know what, we're thinking about giving 20% of this money back. Some people are saying $5,000. It may be more. Who knows? And if it really works out good, it might just be that this might happen while he's in office the next 3 or 4 years. And I say 3 or 4 years because it probably won't kick in this year, but maybe next year. But we'll see. Knowing Trump, he likes to push things pretty quick through the system. But the Democrats don't like it. Oh, no, they hate it. They truly, truly hate it. But the next video clip I'm going to show you is Jasmine Crockett from Texas, okay, that has to put her 2 cents into it. And like I said, she has no sense at all. She's got all the money, like all the other lefties do. But let's listen to what she has to say. And I'm going to point out how basically everything she says is just a flat-out lie and just wrong. And how she says that she's like an economic major or something like that, it makes me wonder. It truly does. What economics this woman studied. But I'll digress on that. Let's get to the next video clip. Here we go. Okay, before I continue, people, 2 quick things. I just want to thank all my new subscribers and all my subscribers here on YouTube and on Rumble. So don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, pass the channel around. Don't forget to leave messages. Give it a thumbs up. Let your family and friends know. Let's get this channel going. It's been doing really good, especially with the views, and I'm very happy. Thank you all. The second thing is that I have to cut into this video clip. It's only about, 8 minutes. But I have to cut in because of, to point out things that this woman says that I need to say something because it just pisses me off. But I'm going to try to keep it to a minimum. Let's go.
And I want to bring in Democratic Congresswoman and member of the House Oversight Committee on Doge, Jasmine Crockett. for more. Congresswoman, thank you so much for coming on. I know you voiced concerns about Elon Musk's influence within the current administration. Supporters say he brings innovative leadership and efficiency to the government, and the White House says he's not in charge of Doge, he's an advisor to the president. So what's your response to that, and what are the Oversight Committee's top priorities right now?
Yeah, so oversight, the purpose of the Oversight Committee is to get rid of waste, fraud, and abuse. And right now, we've not heard from Elon Musk nor anyone else that works for Doge. So it's interesting that prior to, it was a matter of Elon Musk is the one that's running Doge. He is the one that is shutting off funds. He's the one that's committing basically a lot of constitutional as well as legal issues as it relates to our monies and what we do in Congress. But now they're saying, no, he's just there to advise. And in an advisory capacity, the president can have whoever he wants advising. The problem is that no one has come before my subcommittee or any other committee in Congress to talk about their proposals. Instead, they post proposals on social media, or they claim to have found waste, fraud, or abuse. And we know that the vast majority of waste, fraud, or abuse exists within the Defense Department, and yet there's not been any conversations yet whatsoever about the fact that the Defense Department has failed to pass an audit in at least the last 6 audits.
Okay, now I'm gonna jump in real quick, okay? First of all, what Trump and Elon are doing, they're going to get into the defense budget because Trump already mentioned they're getting into that, and they said they've already put out a memorandum to the armed forces for them to start cutting back. I believe Pete Hegseth put it out, and this was yesterday. Excuse me. That they're going to start with 8%. I believe they have. I forgot the date where the armed forces have to come back, and with the cuts that they can afford in their departments, and it accumulates right now on this first round 8%. So what she's saying right there is a flat out lie. That's number one. Number two, okay, and we'll jump real quick. She's over here saying that Elon Musk has yet to go in front of Congress to, so they can check him out, pat him down, shake him down, whatever the hell the case is. Here's the two problems with that. Number one, the Democrats only want to do it because what they're trying to do is delay Elon Musk from doing his job. They want to tie him up in Congress and stay there for hours upon hours, day after day, asking the same old damn questions. Then they're going to want to question the people that he's got working for him. All these, if anybody remembers what they said 2 days ago, that Democrat official, all these nitwits, he called them, okay? So that's basically going to prolong them, which is going to make it harder for Trump to keep this ball rolling, which is why they're doing so much, because they have nobody to stop them. And what they're doing within the scope of the law. That's number one. Number two, if nobody believes me, I just didn't have time to get it, but it popped in my head watching this, putting this video together. I wonder if the Democrats gave the Republicans any heads up or the right to question George Soros' son, Alex Soros, when he was sitting down, okay, with Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, when they're all sitting down, and if you don't believe me, go look it up. There's video and pictures of them sitting down. Is Alex Soros a public official that needed to go in front of Congress, or an independent contractor that needed to go in front of Congress and get the Republicans okay on that? I don't think so. Because this is something that a lot of people don't know about. But like I said, go look it up. You'll find it. Like I've always said in a lot of my videos, I'll give you the Easter egg. Go find it. So I wonder if this is the way the Democrats felt, if they thought that they should have gave the Republicans a heads up, and the average American that cannot stand George Soros and his son, if they gave him a heads up and say, you know what, we're going to have some meetings in Washington, and Alex Soros is going to be sitting down with us. Do you guys want to know? Yeah, we'd like to know. Well, you can't know. It's a need to know basis, so you don't need to know. That's why a lot of people don't know it. To this day, a lot of people really don't know who Alex Soros is or what he does. Whereas Elon Musk is out in the open, pretty much braggadocious, okay, and not to a fault, is just the way he is, and you feel that you need him to sit down so he can get what, confirmed? He's not running for office. He's not a public official. He is a private independent contractor. And by the way, and we'll get right to the video. Another thing, what a lot of people may not know, Elon Musk is not getting paid for this. He is doing this on his own dime. Him personally is not getting paid for this. Once again, Trump is president, not collecting a paycheck. But leave it up to the Democrats to find something wrong when their cash cow gets taken out of their little farm and put into another farm. And now they're like, no, this can never work. You can't give that money back. We had plans for that money. Yeah, we seen where the plans went. They went to teaching to throwing transgender operas and Sesame Street plays in Iraq, and sex change operations to people to the natives of Ecuador. And she's got the nerve to come out and make it seem that Elon Musk has to come forward and be what, transparent? No, this is a whole new era, sweetheart. This is not the leftist regime that you're used to bidding for. No. The people have spoken. But let's continue.
You're also calling on Musk to appear before Congress. Why? What do you want to ask him?
Well, first of all, I want to ask him, what exactly has he been doing? Who is it that he's hired? Who is it that he's firing? How he's coming to the conclusions that he's coming to? What makes him believe that getting rid of our workforce, including those that are in charge of keeping our nuke situation safe or keeping planes from falling out of the sky? I want some analysis behind what it is that he is recommending to the president or to OPM or to anyone else that is engaging in what I feel like is more so a dismantling of our modern day democratic republic. And I want him to basically prove me wrong. I want to know that there is some end game that actually benefits the American people. And it's not just about lining his pockets, which we see as he recommended to turn off the spigot of money to everyone else. He ended up garnering himself an additional $400 million contract for Tesla and an additional over $300 million for SpaceX. And we know that the Republicans right now are proposing to raise the debt ceiling. Why do you need to raise the debt ceiling if somehow you are going about saving us a lot of money? And it is because of these tax cuts that they are also proposing that they are not talking about to the American people. And I want to make sure the American people have the full story.
Okay, well, obviously the American people don't have the full story because you're not giving them the full story. Okay, and we're just going to touch just on everything she just said. I'm just going to touch on one thing. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people have been hearing about it. Once again, besides all the bullshit she's spewing out, the $400 million that Elon Musk acquired, it was not through Donald Trump. Biden signed that off. Okay? The second part about that is that it was brought up to Trump, and him and Elon agreed, we're not going to go through with it, even though Biden made a contract with Elon because they wanted to spend $400 million for Elon, okay, to build, tanks or something like that for the military. And he signed off on it in this past December of 2024. But now that Elon was basically wasn't even offered the job, he volunteered to do this job for Trump, for President Trump. Him and Trump spoke about it, and they said it on TV that they put that to the side because if you look at it, it's almost as if it's a conflict of interest. So they're playing it straight. But you see, she won't say that. But it's not surprising. It's definitely not surprising because this is the way the Democrats work. They keep giving out one side of the story. Let's continue.
Has Musk or anyone from the Trump administration responded to that request that you're making for him to come before Congress?
No, absolutely not. We actually did a motion to do a subpoena for Musk in the Oversight Committee, and the Republicans shut it down. Now, here's the deal. If everything that he is doing is above board and they have nothing to hide, then why wouldn't you want him to come out and testify? The idea that he can just post it on Twitter and that is enough is a farce. That is not how we operate. And at least when you come before Congress, there are consequences when you come before Congress if you are less than truthful. And that is the type of situation that we need him to be in.
Now, Musk.
Okay, I'm going to jump into that again. She's over here saying they want him in front of Congress, right? Now, here's a little fun fact, getting back to George Soros' son, Alex Soros. Supposedly, the Soros organization acquired, I believe it was, 200 to 300 radio stations. Okay? Democrats never said anything about it. They haven't even given the Republicans a decent heads up on what that deal was all about. Nobody's asking him to go in front of Congress, and people may say, well, what does that have to do with anything? You know, he's a private businessman. He could buy whatever radio stations. But if you look at Kennedy from Louisiana, he brought it up for the simple fact that the FCC regulates radio stations. And there's supposed to be a vote, and they're supposed to find out exactly who is buying these radio stations and for what purpose. Okay? Because as it turns out, and if you look it up, here's another Easter egg. There has been one of those radio stations coming out of California, I believe, that has already been spewing out propaganda, leftist propaganda. So if you think about it, the reason why the FCC regulates these things is so that we don't end up like, I don't know, like China, that basically regulates, or I shouldn't say, China, but let's take North Korea, where they regulate everything that is said through the TV, through the radio, on the internet, whatever the case is, in order to do what? To keep everybody in a certain mindset. Another thing that Kennedy from Louisiana found out was that even though there's a process in order to get, in order to be granted these radio stations, it's not something that happens overnight. Somebody decided to basically, I don't know, bypass all the paperwork and just basically granted them the right to own all those radio stations. I didn't see her complaining about that. I didn't see Congress asking, well, we got to bring this man up front, in front of Congress and find out why the hell does he want to buy so many radio stations. Think about that. But yet, they want to bring Elon Musk in front of Congress to find out what he's doing, what's he finding, this, and that. It's been all over the internet. Everything that he's finding. All the money that's being wasted. She's over here trying to spin it around and say, how did he come to that conclusion? I don't know. The fact that his computer tech geniuses went into your system and found all the discrepancies, and now they're questioning it, but they're trying to spin it around, saying, well, how did you come to that assessment? I don't know. The fact that the Social Security Administration says that they have people on the books that were, what was it, that 360 years old on their list to collect Social Security? It's not like he made it up. It's not like they inputted all this information. It's their information. It's in their system. They've been in charge of it. But leave it up to a woman like this to spin it all around. Let's continue.
Campaigned with Trump, telling voters that he would cut government spending and reduce the deficit. Now they're conducting mass layoffs, and Doge's website claims it has saved an estimated $55 billion through fraud detection as well. So isn't this what the American people voted for?
Oh, absolutely not. Listen,
Right.
When he was campaigning with Donald Trump, he was going around and jumping around on a stage. Now, I think that no matter if you're a Democrat, Republican, or independent, you want to know that we are being as efficient as possible with your tax dollars.
Okay.
And so I think that all American people are on board for this. This is why the Oversight Committee has always existed within the Congress. It is because we are supposed to be the watchdogs over the money. But this idea that if we get rid of USAID, that that is going to fix our money woes is another farce. USAID takes up less than 1% of our entire budget. They don't want to talk about the other 99%. Or they're going out and they're saying that Medicaid, Medicare, that those things shouldn't exist. Now the chairman of the budget committee says that they're going after Social Security next. Listen, I don't think that the American people signed up for a government that would say, we know that you have worked so hard for all these years and paid into a system, and now we're just going to say, oh, well, we don't have the money for you, so that the...
Okay, let me stop her right here, because here comes all the crap coming out her mouth. That's not even how it's going down. Okay? It's just not. They are looking for discrepancies, number one, in the Social Security system, because they're trying to find out how is it that millions of people, what is it, up to 20 million people over the age of 100 are on the list to collect Social Security, all the way up to the age of 360 years old. It's not like they're stopping it. As a matter of fact, a few times already, Trump's press secretary has already said, because she keeps getting questioned 2 or 3 times every single time she's out there, will any of these programs be cut? And mainly it's welfare, food stamps, Social Security, Medicaid, the regular. And she keeps saying no. Those programs that go to people that need it individually, SSI, all that, is not going to be cut off. It will be investigated. Somebody that's 360 years old, 220 years old, they're not going to get their check. Duh. But she wants to go and spin it around. And then she comes out and says that the American people didn't sign up for this. This is exactly what the American people signed up for. To find out what, this is one of the reasons, so we can find out where the hell is all our money. Why are we having to bear the brunt of paying all these high taxes, going broke, living paycheck to paycheck, while you guys are sending billions upon billions of dollars overseas to DEI and transgender programs with our money? And she makes it seem like they know best what to do with the American taxpayer money. But she has a little secret that a lot of people don't know about. I'm going to show it. I'm going to show it to you. Bear with me. It's going to be quite of a long video. But she cares about everybody's money. The way she says, we're trying to do the best because we care about the taxpayers' money and this, and that, and yada, yada, yada. Okay, but we're going to get to that. Let's continue.
Likes of Elon Musk or Bezos or Zuckerberg or all the billionaires that showed up to be there with him when he swore in, so that they could just save more money, and we end up carrying the load. We being the working people of America, we being the people that are struggling paycheck to paycheck. We know that right now they literally just proposed legislation to get rid of what the Biden-Harris administration did around limiting those $5 or making sure that those that end up with overdraft fees don't exceed $5.
Wow. Look at that. They care about the American working person, the taxpayers. They overturned one thing that Biden and Harris did that, oh my God, just made me richer. That if I go to the ATM to take out money, I'm not going to spend $5 a transaction. It's going to be lower than that. That just cleaned out our budget, and that just made everything better in America. Do I tell you that these people are I can't find, I'm running out of words. I need a separate dictionary of words to describe Democrats. I kid you not. I need a dictionary, aside from Webster's and all that, just a Democrat dictionary of words that just describe Democrat. It should be called like the Democrat dictionary, and just word after word. It should just say description, Democrat description, and just every word from A through Z in like 35 freaking languages to describe just to describe them. Because their mental state is incredible. This woman actually thinks that by saving people money from going to the ATM, it's what's going to balance the budget and make people live better. Whereas Trump and Elon are finding out the hundreds of billions of dollars in fraud. That's not good enough. Incredible. Here we go.
Wanted to go back to $35 or however much people were charging. They're not doing anything to help the American people. Right now, our food costs are up because they've decided that they want to go after immigrants. They've decided that they don't want anyone to keep watch over what's going on with the bird flu. Listen, right now we are headed towards a recession. And I can tell you that not one person that voted, no matter if they were a Democrat or a Republican, asked for that. So this is something that is going to be on the Trump administration, and I'm just bracing right now.
Okay, so food prices are going up because of the immigrants, because they want to deport immigrants. So how does that explain, before Trump got in to deport immigrants, what explains the high food cost? Because they weren't getting rid of immigrants. As a matter of fact, the contradiction here is that food prices should have went way down, for the simple fact that Biden let in, what, 10 to 20 million illegal immigrants? I mean, that means a dozen of eggs should have been like, what, 15 cents? Oranges, 10 cents for a whole bag? I mean, because the way she's making it seem is that food prices are high now because Trump is deporting illegal immigrants. But for the past 4 years, everything has been up. Prices have been up, and they keep going up. And all we've had is an influx of illegal immigrants coming across the border. Somebody please make me a dictionary on how to explain the Democrats. Please. I'll give you my address, send it to me. Anyway. It's just mind-boggling. It is totally mind-boggling what's coming out this woman's mouth. And the way it just flows out of her mouth as if she truly knows and believes what she's saying to be fact. When the average person, like me, like you, whoever's watching, knows that, you know what? There was a time when a dozen eggs at Dollar General was like $1.50, $2. Biden comes in, they're $4.50 at Dollar General. Some places they're $5.25 for a dozen of eggs at Dollar General. Okay? Will prices start coming down eventually? Yes. That's what we're all waiting for. But this woman is making it seem like what Trump is doing is going to destroy everything. You mean by destroy what? Destroy America or destroy the Democrat Party? That's the real question. Here we go.
President Trump says he likes the idea of giving some of the savings from Doge back to Americans as kind of a dividend. Would you support that?
Listen, he's just telling a lie. He's not the one that had anything to do with the $1,200 refunds that people had during the midst of COVID that was done by a Democratic House and Democratic Senate. Right now, what they're going to do is say, hey, we want to give you a refund, but Congress won't let us, because they already know that there's just no money for that. The only reason that those refunds came before was because we were living in different times. This was a time in which hopefully we won't ever go through again. We had a once in a lifetime pandemic. The bad part is that I don't know if it's once in a lifetime, because we know that Ebola, unfortunately, was detected right here in New York.
Okay, I gotta stop it. There's too much to unpack right here. She said Trump did not give out the first stimulus check. That was something that the Democrats came up with. Okay, hold on to that reasoning. Hold on to that reasoning. So it was okay for the Democrats to give out that money, but now that Trump is finding money, it's not okay if Trump gives away money. That's number one. Now she's talking about that there was a different time because of what happened with COVID, but now they're talking about other things that might be coming. So by your reasoning, if that's the case, that's why the money was given out the first time, then wouldn't it make sense to give out more money this time if all these things are going to come upon the American population again? Makes no sense. Am I seeing this wrong here, people? Leave it in the comments. Okay? Because on top of all that, she's over here saying, and I'll rewind it so you guys can hear it one more time, and I'm going to bring out the truth again on her.
I don't know if it's once in a lifetime, because we know that Ebola, unfortunately, was detected right here in New York here recently. And if we continue...
That right there. That right there, she said, we're going to get back to this because there's more that she says, but she just said that Ebola was detected in New York here recently. So I had to look that up to find out because, you know, I got family and friends in New York. But it says right here, this was 2 days ago, okay? It says, just so we get back to what, let me get back to her video, okay? This was put out 10 hours ago that she's saying this. Okay, we'll get back to this video. But 2 days ago, okay, this was put out. Actually, what's today? The 20th, 3 days ago. False alarm in Manhattan as Ebola scare sparks panic with health officials confirming no virus detected. Over the weekend, a health scare in Manhattan briefly gripped concerns of an Ebola virus outbreak after two individuals who transported from an urgent care center in Bellevue Hospital, according to Fox 5. The incident occurred at City MD on East 125th Street in East Harlem after the fire department of New York responded to a potential case of a patient exposed to an infectious disease. However, after consultation with the Department of Health, it was confirmed that neither of the patients had the Ebola virus. Speculation surrounding the particular condition arose from the fact that they had exhibited symptoms reminiscent of Ebola, a concern likely exacerbated by recent travel histories possibly linked to regions currently experiencing an Ebola outbreak. At first, responders clad, I don't know what that means, and clad in, they spelled it wrong anyway, in protective gear, treated and quickly transported the patients on the rain-drenched streets of the Upper East Side. The scene prompted immediate worry. Acting Commissioner Dr. Michelle Morse of the New York City Health Department reassured in a statement obtained by Fox 5 the two patients that sought service at City MD on February 16th at 153 East 125th Street do not have Ebola. Okay? But she's over here saying that as of recent, meaning today, because this was put out today, 10 hours ago, that there's an Ebola outbreak in New York. Another thing she's not saying, because I did a little more research just to make sure, just so I don't sound ignorant, how would anybody get Ebola? And it's basically something that's in Africa, in the Congo. And if you travel there and come back, you just might pick it up and bring it with you. Now, do people travel all around the world? Yes. Is it a possibility, if this was true, that somebody brought it back, somebody that went on vacation? Yes. But how many people do you know that when they go travel in Africa, they go to the Congo? Or is it more of something that the Democrats let in because we have been finding out, and it's been all over the news, and for quite some time, that there are a lot of illegal immigrants coming in from the Congo. But she won't say nothing about that. Just thought I'd throw that in there. Let's continue.
Down this road of getting rid of scientists or deciding that we don't want to rely on experts as it relates to what they're telling us to do, or we don't want to deal with vaccines and medicine in this country, then we may be facing not only our next pandemic, but our next 2, 3, or 4 pandemics because of their incompetence. So no, we are not in the business of giving out money. And honestly, I don't know what $5,000 will do for you if you...
Did you guys catch that? I'll play it again. So much that the Democrats want to help the American people. You heard what she just came out and said earlier. That they're all about helping the American people, helping the taxpayer that's out there living paycheck to paycheck. Her words, no one else's. This is not edited. This is not AI. Listen to the ignorance in this woman.
Because of their incompetence. So no, we are not in the business of giving out money. And
we are not in the business of giving out money. Well, how do you like that? The Democrats are not in the business of giving out money, people. Oh, no. Never mind all the money that was sent overseas through USAID. What about all the money allocated in every state? Basically, I should say more so every blue state. But it affects some red states also, because the money was coming in from the Biden regime, giving money, food stamps, car vouchers, hotel stays to illegal immigrants. But now Trump found some money and wants to give it to every American citizen that pay taxes. We're not in the business of giving out money. Well, no shit. You got that right. You Democrats are not in the business of giving out money back to the American people. But then she comes out and says this.
And honestly, I don't know what $5,000 will do for you if...
She doesn't know what $5,000 would do for me, for you, for anyone. Well, I'm just going to throw out a little list. Sorry about that. And we'll get to some more. Number one, right now, $5,000 for me can help me get a new apartment. That's number one. I have no fear of telling my business to my subscribers or anybody out there for that matter, because we're all in the same boat. $5,000 for me right now. As a matter of fact, $600 for me from a buddy of mine who owns a tire shop can get me a new set of tires that my truck really needs for $600. $650 if he puts them on. Okay, I don't know, about between $25,000 and $3,000 can help me basically pay off all my bills for the next month, where I don't have to go out there and work 7 days a week and get home late, where I can probably sit home for a week or two and pay more attention to my YouTube channel, so I can put a little more effort into it instead of putting out videos late at night. That would help me out a lot, so I can get a little jump on learning some more on how to put out more content and all that. That will really help me, and have some money on the side. $5,000, in all honesty, can help me help someone that's close and dear to my heart get a vehicle so they can get to and from work. That would help. $5,000 can help me pay my rent for 5 months straight. And again, I won't have to work 7 days a week, 10, 12, 13, 14 hours a day, just to keep up with the bills that have been carrying over from Biden's regime. But this woman says, I don't know what $5,000 is going to do for anybody. Please, anybody, whether you're left, right, front, center, black, white, gay, straight, I don't care. Leave it in the comments. Would you like a free $5,000? And if anybody thinks this is Trump trying to buy the vote, he won. And he never even talked about doing this on the campaign trail. Let's continue.
If you are unable to find a job, because I am telling people we are headed towards a recession, because the United States government is the 15th largest employer in the world. And so firing those that work for the federal government isn't going to necessarily create new jobs in private industry. In fact, Southwest Airlines, based in my district, just announced for the very first time in its entire existence that they are doing a layoff of approximately 15% of their workforce. If you pay attention, the signs are there, and I'm not telling you to be an alarmist. I'm telling you because I want to be honest with the American people. And my background, believe it or not, I was a business major, and none of this looks good for us right now.
Okay, I got it wrong. I said she was into economics, but she was a business major. Now, when she came out and said, I should have let it play through, I don't think $5,000 is going to help anybody, especially if you're looking for a job. How moronic does that sound? If I'm looking for a job, and I did my taxes last year, and right now I'm a month without work, and all of a sudden a $5,000 check came in the mail or was put into my bank account, for her to come out and say, I don't know how that's going to help you find a job, it's just asinine to hear her say that. And once again, she contradicts herself of saying that all these people getting laid off, you see how she just skirted to government workers. So Trump is deporting illegals. Those are jobs right there. If he's getting rid of 1 million illegals that are working, that are here illegally, that's 1 million jobs that need to be filled. He's getting rid of all the dead weight in government. Are they too big to go, I don't know, pick oranges? It seems like she was only worried about the illegals being deported because then they can't put food on our tables like the Democrats keep saying. But wait a minute. If Trump is getting rid of the illegals and that leaves jobs open, then the government workers, they're not really without a job. They just got fired from a job. They can easily go and start picking fruits and vegetables to help put food on our tables. But no, that's not how they want that. No, that's not how it works. And she's supposed to be what? A business major? Yeah, I wonder what business. But two more quick things before we go. I'll wrap it up because it's been kind of lengthy. She says she talks about all about saving money for the American taxpayer. Let's see how much money she saved the American taxpayer when back in March 6th of 2024. This is her, Crockett. Jasmine Crockett secures a $10,476,031 loan for local projects and first package of government funding for fiscal year 2024. I'll read it. It's quick. Okay, I'll read the first line and then we'll go down. A matter of fact, you know what? We're not even going to do that. We're going to go down to here. It's just easier. She was able to get all that money so it can go to these projects. And this is in Texas, mind you. Okay, where she's from. Biden had to sign off on this because right down here, it says this legislation is expected to be signed into law by President Biden later this week. A detailed summary of the bill is available here. Not going to click on it. But she needed money for people in Texas, and no offense to anybody in Texas. But she's talking about saving taxpayers' money, but she had to get the money from Biden, our taxpayer money, to take care of her constituents and the people in her section of Texas. Okay? $600,000 for the Barron Farms, what's that? Bexar Street Resource Center. $959,000, almost $1 million, to the city of Lancaster for wastewater improvement projects. $500,000 for the University of North Texas in Dallas. $850,000 to Fair Park, first for development of the community park at Fair Park. Let's just send them $1 million to fix a park in Texas. Another almost $900,000 to the city of Grand Prairie for expansion of Lake Ridge Bridge to fix their bridge. Over $1.5 million to the city of DeSoto for a Hampton Road redevelopment. $500,000 in Texas Trust for public land for Judge Charles R. Rose Community Park, another park. $2.5 million to the city of Dallas for enhancement at Martin Luther King Jr. Community Center. $850,000 for renovations of Park South Family YMCA. $200,000 for technical improvements at DeSoto Regional Jail. $1 million to City of Cedar Hill for U.S. Highway 67, Tidwell Bridge, and intersection improvements. So she's, instead of Texas putting this money up and saying, since it's part of Texas, and like I said, no offense to anybody in Texas or any state for that matter, but this woman is over here saying she's trying to save, or she knows what it is, how we live paycheck to paycheck. They're trying to do the best thing for all taxpayers, but you're taking government money, taxpayer money, to go fix sections of your state. As if she cares so much. I'm going to show you how much she cares, and then we'll wrap it up. Because she says she cares. That's just one thing that she says she cares about. Now we're going to go to this. The full list, I don't know if anybody heard, but votes have gone in where illegal immigrants will be deported for sex crimes and stuff like that. And that vote came out not too long ago, about a month ago or something like that. 5 months ago, I should say. But it was re-brought up again where people are talking about it. And 158 Democrats are being scrutinized over it. The full list of 158 Democrats who voted against the sex crime ban on immigrants. Okay? More than 150 Democrats voted against Republican Representative Nancy Mace's bill that would ensure undocumented immigrants convicted of sex offense are deported or deemed inadmissible to the country. Blah, 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 right? Here's the list of all the Democrats. And right here in blue, Jasmine Crockett of Texas signed the list for that bill not to pass. So she cares about the illegals being deported because then they can't put food on the table. But if they commit a sex crime, she doesn't want them deported. How do you like that? You can't make this up, people. You just can't make this shit up. But is it surprising? It's not. It's really not surprising. We all knew that once Donald Trump got into office, there was going to be blowback from the left like there's no tomorrow. More than the first time he was president. But that's okay, because we won. We got the upper hand. People are seeing what's going on. And I don't care who you are. There's going to be a lot of people on the left just waiting for that $5,000 check. And who knows? You know Trump likes to do things big. Bigly. It might be more than that. And that's what the Democrats are afraid of. They don't want anybody to get anything for free. You heard what she said. Not my words, her words. They don't want people to be lifted up. They want you to believe that they can lift you up. They don't want you to lift up yourself. Because if the Democrats really cared, instead of sending all that money overseas, they could have went into the neighborhoods themselves. They could have gave refunds back. Tax-free refunds. This is yours. You paid into the system. We got a lot of money. This is so you guys can lift up your neighborhoods, lift up your families, pay your rent. No. They'd rather give you welfare and food stamps so you could be subservient to them while sending money overseas and just lifting up people's spirits up there. Okay? Matter of fact, another thing I found out yesterday, and I'll wrap it up. I'm sorry, I promise. Just found out that some artist out of Paris or France was given $1 million through USAID to go to, I believe it was Afghanistan, okay, to teach Afghanistan women what they call degenerative art or something like that. It's just basically just crappy art. And one of the exhibitions is from some artist that took a urinal, took a picture of it like in black and white, and you're supposed to stand there and basically ponder at it. And you see all these Afghan women looking at this picture, and you see them on camera, they're frowning like, what in the hell is this? Why are you showing us a urinal? But that's where $1 million, American taxpayer dollars, went to some French artist to go to Afghanistan and teach Afghan women about, I think it's called degenerative art or something like that. Derogative art or just stupid shit. While this woman is taking taxpayer money and fixing up parks and bridges in certain areas in Texas, which is fine. But when it comes to fixing up a park, if you're worried so much about the economy, shouldn't you have collected that money from your counties in Texas? Nope. Let's get it from Biden because that's everybody else's money. That's how they work. At least that's how she works. But anyway, that's what I got for you. Don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, pass the channel around. And if you can help support the channel, there's a link in my description to my Cash App and my merch store. So remember, people, stay vigilant. Keep praying for each other. Keep praying for the women and the children. Pray for this country. Pray for your enemies. Pray for Donald Trump. And pray for all the children that were brought across the border that have gone missing. Peace.